Leadoff Man is brought to you by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. Good people to know when you're looking for a car. And by Amico Ultimate. Your car knows.
The Cubs are 2 games back in the National League East, but there are no super teams in that division. Unlike the American League West, Oakland 2.5 games up, and the White Sox right there. Jeff Torborg manages this ball club, and I got a feel that he's pretty happy at this point. Steve Stone down on the field at beautiful Wrigley Field with the skipper of the Chicago White Sox, Jeff Torborg. And Jeff, you're 5-4. You're 2.5 games back of just an outstanding ball club. How do you evaluate your team at this point of the year?
Steve, I'm pretty happy where we stand. Our young players have really done well. It's been an exciting run for us. Unfortunately, we ran into a little stumbling block in Cleveland. We had scored 4 runs in the first inning on Saturday and thought we were well on the way. You know, here we go. We got a chance to really blow this series away, and we didn't get a hit in the rest of the game. And yesterday, the big inning got us again. I think in the 4 games we've lost, and I'm sure you can say this about most ball games, if we could have avoided the big inning, we could still be undefeated, so to speak. But our ball club, in a sense, will ride on the fortunes of our pitching staff, and that's true of anyone, but especially a real young staff like we have. Our starters are awfully young and in a lot of ways unproven. We have a pretty good lineup on the field, and we've got some team speed, better defense, so I think we got a chance to be an exciting team.
Jeff, don't go away. There's plenty more we've got to draw out of you, but stay with us because we'll be back with more of Jeff Torborg after these messages.
Sometimes a car is like a woman. Beautiful, seductive, jealous, evil. Meet Christine. She's a dream machine. A blast from the past. She's hell on wheels. Body by Fisher. Story by Stephen King. Horror by John Carpenter.
Ride is over.
Christine. Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 9.
When you have a veteran of youth and experience, you hope that the youth comes along and you hope that the experience has a few more years left. That brings us to Carlton Fisk. The most experience of anybody I've ever seen, but you have to feel comfortable with him behind the plate.
Really do. In fact, the one thing I really worried about is his physical well-being. If he gets hurt, we've got problems. Not as a knock on our young catching, but we are so young with our pitching staff. I think we average less than 25 years of age in our pitching staff. And without his veteran expertise behind the plate, we have trouble. We found that out in the first half of the season last year. We lost 56 games before the All-Star break. One of the major problems was our pitching staff just was in total collapse. And he makes a major difference, not to mention what he does offensively. You know, when the game's on the line, the good ones, they have the flair for the dramatic, and he's got it.
Nothing makes a manager's heart go pity-pat more than a young, talented left-hander who's just on the horizon. And I think Wilson Alvarez fills that bill. Give our fans a little progress report on Wilson Alvarez.
Yeah, Steve, Wilson Alvarez, of course, is the left-hander that we obtained in the Harold Baines trade last year. And he's only 20 years old now. He's a left-hander with a low arm angle, but really has good stuff and has an idea and has poise. He's not that far away from here. We just want to make sure that when we do bring him up, that he really feels good about himself and is popping the ball the way he should be. We have another young left-hander, too, in Scott Radinsky, who has been with us since the beginning of the season. And each time out, he's been more and more impressive. He had 31 saves last year at South Bend, and that's a quantum leap, you know, from that level here. So you're talking about 2 good young left-handed pitchers, and we got some pretty good young hitters, one being Frank Thomas on the horizon, too, knocking on the door. He's a guy with the big pop. He's going to be an impact player. So you can see our ball club right now is one that's very young. We're very much fortified on the corners at this point, which makes me feel good. But you go as far as your pitching takes you, and we've got to do something to help our pitching staff.
Well, Jeff, good luck to you. You've got a loaded division, so have a good year. And stay with us because we'll be back with a look at the starting pitchers after these messages.
Burt Lancaster, Eva Marie Saint, Robert Culp, Rebecca Schaefer, Voyage of Terror, The Achille Lauro Affair, coming May 1st to Channel 9.
On the mound today for the White Sox is Jerry Kutzler. Jeff Torborg said they're going to take a long, hard look at him. They think that he's got a chance to help this ball club this year. So although this is just an exhibition game, it's a big game for Jerry Kutzler. And Damian is on the mound for the Cubs. He's a young man that the Cubs saw in spring training a couple of years ago. He's a man with a lot of potential. And once again, although this game doesn't mean a great deal in the grand scheme of things, it means a great deal to the young men who are getting an opportunity to face major league hitters. It's a beautiful day today. The White Sox and the Cubs in the Windy City Classic. So stay tuned for baseball.
Guests on Leadoff Man will receive a Tissot Rock Watch from Henry K. Jewelers, 547 North Michigan Avenue, or 3rd level, Water Tower Place. Leadoff Man was brought to you by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. Good people to know when you're looking for a car. And by Amico Ultimate. Your car knows.
The following program is presented in stereo surround sound on WGN, Chicago's very own Channel 9.
Well, the two Chicago baseball teams tangle, the White Sox and the Cubs. And it's only fitting, therefore, the WGN will bring you every thrilling play on Channel 9. Stay with us now for all the action that follows.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Channel 9. The Cubs are brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Buick and your better Buick dealers, home of the most trouble-free American cars. The Chicago Tribune. Get in the game. Pick up a trib. True Value Hardware. For quality selection and personal attention, make True Value your store of first choice. Your Pepsi-Cola General Bottlers. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. Unical 76, who invites you to go with the spirit of 76. Nissan, built for the human race. Canon Camera, the official camera of the Chicago Cubs. Canon, so advanced, it's simple. And United Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs. Come fly the friendly skies.
I need a man I can trust.
Yes, sir. I think you found your man.
Charlie Sheen has just accepted a deadly assignment.
Good morning.
I'm gonna throw up right now.
He's got just 48 hours to get this dangerous delinquent to reform school.
Isn't it funny?
But she's got a mission of her own.
Frankly, Tommy, I don't give a damn.
Buckle up for this hilarious freewheeling adventure.
Are you crazy?
3 for the road.
Wednesday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Caray at Wrigley Field. Today, it's the White Sox versus the Cubs in the Gatorade Windy City Classic. And this is the 6th year of this event. And the White Sox have won 4, lost none, hold 1 tie against the Cubs, who therefore are hoping for their first meeting against a crosstown rival. And it's going to be a special occasion, too, as Steve Lyons, a versatile ball player of the White Sox, is going to play every single position on the field. He's going to start out catching. He's going to be pitching, play first, second, short, third, left, center, and right. Now, in the past, 2 Major League ball players have done this in a regular game. Bert Campaneris, there's Steve Lyons right there. Bert Campaneris, who was Charlie Finley's great little shortstop, did it when it was the Kansas City A's before they moved out to Oakland in 1965. He played every position, regular American League game. And Cesar Tovar of the Minnesota Twins did likewise in 1969. So it'll be interesting to see how Steve Lyons fares, and I'm sure he'll fare very well indeed. It's amazing how the White Sox have beaten the Cubs every time they played them, whether the game's been at Comiskey Park or here at Wrigley Field. But as they say, that's baseball. Now let's listen to our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Gentlemen, kindly remove your caps. Join along with me, Chicago Cub public address announcer Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ in a singing and playing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in our gate roof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. To reserve your place in the sun, Cubs tickets are available at the Wrigley Field box office, or you can charge by phone at 559-1212. It's an all-star season at Wrigley Field.
Hello again, everybody, with Steve Stone and Thom Brennaman and Harry Caray back at Wrigley Field, where it's a classic cross-city rivalry between the Cubs and the White Sox. And the White Sox have yet to lose a game to the Cubs. This is the 6th year of this pairing. The 4 umpires are on duty. Joe Maher is going to work the plate. Dave Stickenmeyer at first. Joe Pomponi at second. And Dick Cavanaugh at third. And every year when this game is played, it seems like those same 4 men umpire. And boy, they couldn't have picked a better day. It's a gorgeous afternoon in Chicago.
I know they don't want to see a repeat of the 1988 game played in this park, Caray, when both teams went 15 innings head-to-head to no resolution. That was the one tie in the series. If you remember back to that game, and I'm sure you do, it seemed like nobody could do anything in the late innings, and finally they decided by mutual consent to just leave the ballpark.
Well, the reason they did, they ran out of pitchers. Steve Lyons worked about 3 innings for the White Sox during that game, and Jim Sundberg, who's a catcher, wound up pitching for the Chicago Cubs. Talking about Steve Lyons, Stoney talked to him right before the game.
The man of many gloves today. Steve Lyons is going to play all 9 positions. And Steve, how did this come about?
Well, this came about a couple years ago when I was with the White Sox earlier in my career. We had a day where we were going to play an exhibition game right at the end of the spring training, and we got rained out, and I was going to play all 9 then. And when we came up with the Cubs game early in the year this year, I asked if we could do it again. And Jeff's the type of manager that's real accommodating to the players, and he knows that I'm not getting a chance to play a lot right now, so he thought it would be fun for me, and obviously I think it's going to be a great time.
I thought you were going to start the game, but because of the designated hitter, apparently we'll see you on the mound in the 8th inning. Does that scare you at all?
Well, it only scares me if I have to face one of their big gun hitters, but I think it would have been nice to start the game, but we didn't know they were going to use the DH rules considering we're playing over at Wrigley today, so it kind of threw a wrench into the plans, but I don't even know where I'm headed. I know I'm the starting catcher. After that, I have to ask Jeff where I'm going.
All right, the lineups for today's game are: for the White Sox, Dave Gallagher in center field. Steve Lyons behind the plate. Ivan Calderon left. Carlton Fisk, the amazing Mr. Fisk, behind the plate. Dan Pasqua is the designated hitter. Carlos Martinez at first base. Robin Ventura at third base. Scotty Fletcher, the second baseman. And Ozzie Guillen, the great shortstop of the White Sox, who's hitting .345 for the season, is playing short. Here's the Cub lineup. Jerome Walton's at center, Sandberg at second, Dwight Smith on left, Grace at first, Dawson at right, Dave Clark, the DH, Salazar at third, Ramos playing short, and Rick Rona behind the plate. There's the Cub defense with Smith on left, Walton in center, and Dawson on right. And of course, there's the infield. Len Damian. Len Damian is there's a Guillen. Boy, what a shortstop and what a fine hitter that little guy is. He only weighs 150 pounds. And he is, Guillen, 26 years old, established as a star shortstop, makes over $1 million a year, and well, he has earned it too.
There you take a look at Len Damian, whose strongest point is the fact that he doesn't walk anybody. In the course of his brief professional career, he's thrown 747 innings. He is only averaging 2.1 walks per 9 innings, but he's off to just a terrible start this year. 0-2, the ERA at 7.64. He started 3 games. He's relieved in a game. He's given up a whopping 27 hits in 17 2/3 innings. So he's trying to show Don Zimmer and Jim Fry that this beginning of the season is just an aberration, that he can get the sinker over the plate.
Is that the ivy from the wall on her head?
That's what it's going to look like probably when we get back off this road trip and we get a little warm weather.
Oh, yeah, we're well on our way to getting the weather we expect. You know, we never have springtime in Chicago. It goes from winter right to summer. I imagine around 80 degrees today. We're ready to play ball, and Dave Gallagher will lead it off. A tribute is going to be paid to a former WGN personality, John DeRemus, tomorrow night beginning at 6 o'clock at Ditka's Restaurant. The event will be hosted by our good friends Jack Brickhouse and Wally Phillips, and I think Irv Cupson it also. There's a ground ball hit to short. Ramos has it. 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out. As Gallagher grounds out to Ramos. The special tribute will benefit the Alzheimer's Association of Chicago. That's tomorrow night beginning at 6 o'clock at Gitka's. A tribute to well-known radio and TV personality John DeRemus. 1 strike and nothing on Steve Lyons. Broke in with the Boston Red Sox. There's a drive foul.
Sean Dunston, the only one of the regulars, taking a day off today. Len Damian making his second appearance in the Windy City Classic.
Lyons, born in Tacoma, Washington, now lives in Scottsdale. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Len Damian, 24-year-old right-hander. 0-2 so far this year for Iowa. There's a looping liner, short left field on the run. Making the catch beautifully is Dwight Smith. A sparkling, running, one-handed shoestring catch in short left center by Dwight Smith.
The wind is blowing in, and so Dwight Smith making a fine play. The outfield can afford to play a couple of steps closer, except perhaps on this very strong young man, Ivan Calderon.
Ron Kittle, 32-year-old veteran outfielder, who probably will appear in the game before it's over. He's out of Caray, Indiana. And there's Steve Lyons, who's going to catch next inning. The pitch. Calderon. Even up.
They got him from the Minnesota Twins. Hit 28 home runs for the White Sox a couple of years ago.
He swings and he misses. But you know, baseball, not what you've done for me lately, it's what have you done for me today.
Ron Karkovice, backup catcher to Carlton Fisk.
Calderon used to be with Seattle. Ivan, big right-hand hitter, 28 years old, out of Puerto Rico. There's a drive, left center field, base hit. And the White Sox fans have the first chance to howl as Calderon hung a rope in the left center. Nice recovery by Dwight Smith with a great throw that held him to a single. Here is Carlton Fisk. Boy, this fella deserves a standing ovation. What a tremendous ball player he's been. 42 years old.
He signed his first contract with Greenville. Although he didn't play, he was in the military service back in 1967.
Boy, I don't want to be accused of tampering, but I sure wish we had him. There's the runner going. The pitch is fouled out of play. Jeff Torborg put on a hit and run. Calderon broke, and Fisk swung but fouled it off. Fisk has been in the big leagues since 1969. Then he went back to the minor leagues with Pawtucket in 70. Then from 70 on, he's been in the major league. He's in his 19th year. Throw to first, runner back. His major league lifetime average is 271. He's going to wind up. Here's a pitch foul out of play. He's going to be passing Johnny Bench for most home runs by a catcher very shortly. He has 336 home runs for his career, which has been a long and honorable one. Pitch low and outside.
At 42 years old, Carlton has a stolen base this year. And surprisingly, Ivan Calderon leads this in stolen bases.
Well, Carlton Fisk has always been known for his speed as a catcher. Oh, they got him picked off third. Calderon, it's tagged out from Mark Grace to Domingo Ramos. A perfect pickoff play by Lenny Damian. So we go into the bottom of the first, no score.
Cub Cadet, makers of tough tractors for your little corner of the world.
Harry Caray back at Wrigley Field. We go into the bottom of the first. Watch this bit of byplay as Grace tosses the ball to Domingo Ramos. They're good friends. Played each other against each other for many years. Here we go. Bottom of the first. Jerome Walton leading off. Strike call. This is Jerry Kutzler. Barry Lyons now catching. Or rather, Steve Lyons. I'm thinking of the Mets. Here's a pitch inside.
Kutzler's 25 years old. He's out of Waukegan, Illinois, and he's 1-0 at Vancouver this year in 2 starts. They give him high marks. Jeff Torberg thinks they might be able to employ him this year.
There's a curveball, a little bit low. Walton hitting .308 for the young season. 2 balls and the strike. That evens it up 2-2.
Kutzler was invited to the White Sox spring training as a non-roster invitee and impressed the brass. He went 2-0 in 6 appearances covering 8 innings. He didn't give up any earned runs this spring.
He struck him out. Slow curve. Fooled him with a changeup. 1 out. Here's Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg now holds the major league record for most chances handled without an error. 481. There's a high pop foul into the stands, strike 1.
You know, Harry, it's funny, you don't hear much about it, but Scott Fletcher, the second baseman for the White Sox, had an errorless streak at second base spanning 66 games. It went by the boards a couple of days ago, but with Sandberg doing everything defensively in Chicago, you don't hear much about that.
Well, when he gets up to 100, I'll talk about it a little more.
It's over. You don't have to worry about it.
0-1 the count. Ground ball, deep shot. Guillen, the quick throw. He is out. Boy, that Guillen gets you by the same margin every time. He has a quick release on his throw, and invariably it's accurate.
This is the most amazing thing about Ozzie Guillen. Much like Ozzie Smith, he gets the ball over very quickly. Completely different shortstop than Sean Dunston. They both have great range. Dunston with the great arm, but Guillen as quick as anybody in getting the ball over to first.
Yeah, what I like about him, he's a fine little hitter, you know. Here's a ground ball hit by Dwight Smith. Ventura throws him out. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. Caray back to the ballpark. Here we go now with Carlton Fisk will lead it off. Steve Lyons. There's a foul tap off his leg. You know, Ozzie Guillen came to the White Sox. You talk about great deals, and you got to give Roland Heumann. I'm sure he made it. There's the White Sox defense. Keep your eye on that little Guillen. Outstanding shortstop. The pitch. Swung and he missed. He is hit for the White Sox. 273, 250, 279, 261, 253. There's a pitch a little bit outside.
Good look at Mike Harkey. Steve Wilson next to him, and Dave Clark. Looks like he'll have a turn at bat today.
There's a pitch fouled out of play. I thought I heard some baseball men talking about Guillen not being particularly fast. I must be looking at the wrong column, but if you say this guy isn't fast, he's swiped 25, 25, and 36 bases the last 3 years. That's almost an average of 30 bases a year. Fisk fouls it back. There he is in the dugout. 26-year-old Ozzie Guillen. Spelled the Guillen. And where's the number 13 defying all superstition? Ball bounces away from Rona. Jim Fry and Don Granesco.
Special assistant Hugh Alexander.
And
in your
Hughes
picture.
in town. I bet the first thing they threw at Hugh Alexander was, when are you going to get us a big hitter? Or when are you going to get us a 20-game winner?
Easier said than done, unfortunately.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. He walked in.
Damian threw a couple of very close pitches to Carlton Fisk, but when you've been in the league since 1969, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt even from Joe Marr, who's umpiring behind the plate.
Hey, we'd like to say hello to the Crosstown Classic party at the Caray in Plainfield, Illinois. They got a group of residents who gathered in the theater there to watch the game. So whether you're a Cub fan or a Sox fan, we sincerely hope you enjoy the telecast.
Pasqua's only had 5 at-bats this year, so he's not getting much work.
Former Yankee. There's a drive. Deep right field. Base hit. Here goes Fisk. He's around third. He's going to be held up. Dan Pasqua lined a double into the right field corner. And the White Sox threaten early.
This is a high sinker, and you don't get much result from a high sinker, especially to a good, strong left-hand hitter. And Pasqua drives this ball in the corner. No sense taking a gamble with 42-year-old Carlton Fisk, so they hold him at third.
Here's Carlos Martinez now. 24-year-old first baseman, tall, rangy right-hand batter. Damian, runners second and third, nobody out. Base hit center field. 1 run in. The second man racing to the plate. He too will score. Fisk and Pasqua have scored, while Martinez's first pitch single to center.
A lot of people around the White Sox organization think that Carlos Martinez is going to be a lot better now that he can just rely on one position defensively, and that's going to be first base. He shows he can hit the breaking ball, driving it right back through the middle. And just like that, the White Sox, who are undefeated against the Cubs, are now 2-0 ahead.
Martinez was originally signed by the Yankees out of Venezuela. Here's Robin Ventura, the fine young third baseman. 2-0 in favor of Chicago White Sox. I'm just thinking about Steve Lyons. His entire career has been with the Sox, either the red or the white. Broke in with the Boston Red Sox. Now he's with the Chicago White Sox. Ventura.
They're very pleasantly surprised that Robin Ventura can field at third base. In fact, they feel that he is more than an adequate defensive third baseman, and they know that he's going to hit.
Tall, rangy left-hand hitter. The pitch swung and popped up. Under the ball is Salazar, and he makes the grab. 1 out. That'll bring up Scotty Fletcher, 31 years old.
Third base coach for the White Sox is Terry Bevington. He was one of the finalists in that derby for the job with the Toronto Blue Jays as far as managing is concerned. And the first base coach, Ron Clark, who is also the defensive coordinator.
I think Bevington's younger brother umpired one of the games while the lockout after the lockout while the umpires were striking or had not reported for duty. Scotty Fletcher. Nice afternoon, good crowd on hand, but not a full house. There goes a runner. Smashed down to Salazar, no play at second. Fletcher with the hit run on, bounced out Salazar to Grace, and Martinez takes second base.
Even though this is an exhibition game, Jeff Torborg is letting his ball club know that he's going to stay aggressive all year. He realizes he doesn't have a whole lot of pop in that batting order, and he knows if he's going to get any mileage from this team offensively, he's going to have to run at every opportunity, and he's done it twice already in the early going.
Asiguian. Fastball low. A young fan, Christopher Robert Forsyth, with his parents. They're all from Hawaii. There's a high fly ball going back as Jerome Walton to make the catch. So 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We go into the bottom of the second, 2-0 White Sox. Harry Caray and Steve Stone. Steve Lyons now playing first base. Mark Grace tries to check his swing, fouls a pitch back.
I think the most difficult part of this ball game for manager Jeff Torborg is not figuring out the lineup, is figuring out what exactly to do when he moves Lyons around the diamond. He's got to make all kinds of shifts, and now Ron Karkovice is behind the plate, Martinez in left.
Carlos Martinez, who drove in the 2 runs, stays in the ballgame. 0-2 on Mark Grace. Jerry Kutzler from Waukegan delivers. Ground ball, that'll be easy. And Lyons handles the throw as Scotty Fletcher throws out Grace. That will bring up Andre Dawson.
Looks to me like Kutzler is throwing a split finger fastball or some other type of change that goes straight down. He's got a very deceptive arm motion. You can see why he had such a fine record in spring training.
Scott and Thom and a gang from Dyer, Indiana are here. And so is Mike Dempsey in the group from Dempsey's Lounge in Michigan City, Indiana. I wonder how my friend Joe Joseph is doing over in Michigan City. Larry and Jeannie from Joliet are here. They're from Joanne's Tavern. One out, nobody on. There's a drive in a left center field. It's going to be caught by Martinez. And Martinez loped over there like a gazelle. He's a big, tall, long striding man.
Now that's a cigar.
I can smell it from way up here.
I'll tell you, if we play 2 today, Harry, that cigar is going to make it the distance.
2 men out. Here's Dave Clark. If we don't get a hit or a run, do we have to play another game?
Absolutely, until they're finished or until we run out of pitchers.
There's a line drive foul by Dave Clark. Debbie's here with a group from the Lombard Lanes. And Fred Fultz, 77 years old today, from Joliet is here. One man out, 2 men out, nobody on. Ground ball, 1-2-3 inning again. Lyons fumbles and recovers. Throws to first in time. From Lyons to Kutzler. At the end of 2, the White Sox lead 2-0.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is United Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs. Come fly the friendly skies.
Harry Caray back to the ballpark. We're going to the top of the 3rd. And Dave Gallagher will lead it off. Batting for the 2nd time, he bounced out. First time up, Len Damian. There's a drive, foul in the stands down the 3rd base line. We have a longtime Cub fan, Bobby Gerard, here from Dallas. And they're here from the Depot on Clark Street. Two strikes and nothing. The pitches on the outside corner.
Gallagher had a fine year in '88, hit .303 with the Sox. Last year, .266. But he's a man really without a position here in the Chicago scheme of things because he doesn't have a lot of power.
Pitch low and outside. The next Cub pitcher is going to be Lanny Renfroe, 27-year-old right-hander. Who's away to a good start. He's won 2, lost none, saved 1. He's out of the South, born in the state of Mississippi. And he wanted to be sure to be remembered to his lovely wife, who's expecting their first child. His wife at home in Charlotte, awaiting the blessed event. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball. Salazar. Easy out. Kurt Wilkerson now playing second base for the Cubs. Wilkerson. So Sandberg is through for today.
Does this mean he extended his errorless streak, or aren't they going to count this one?
Oh. There's the pitch swung and he missed. 1 strike and nothing. Boy, the more you think of that streak, the more remarkable it becomes. 102 games. Here's the pitch. He swings and he misses.
All of these White Sox hitters have approximately the same stroke under the tutelage of Walt Rainiac, the pitching coach, and averages have climbed steadily since Rainiac took over.
Swings and he fouls it back. Well, I don't know about that. Calderon hitting 188. Pasqua 200. Martinez 129. Fletcher 074. Is a Herniak talking to those guys?
It's early yet, Harry.
All I ever hear about Herniak is Yastrzemski. All I ever heard about Charlie Lau is George Brett. How could you allow some great hitters like that? Here's a pitch and he struck him out. He tried to stop his swing, but he went on around. And Lyons strikes out. Well, if he struck out at every position he played today, he'd have to go to bat 9 times.
That would be a story. Well, we know that he's not a very good hitter as a first baseman. Maybe as he moves around, he'll get some pop.
There's the pitch, a high pop foul into the stand. Calderon, who singled his first time up, and then was picked off first and run down. Oh, wait a minute. Calderon has left the ball game. Remember, Martinez replaced him in left, moving from first. That was when Lyons started the game as a catcher. Karkovice is now hitting. 0-2 the count. There's that drive. Way back. If it stays fair, it'll be gone. Home run. Holy cow. With a count of 0-2. Caray hit one over on the other side of Waveland Avenue.
And here's a man who hit 3 home runs last year and 3 the year before. And he's hit one here today, and nothing cheap about that one. It went around 380 feet right down the line. So Ron Caray, who raised his average some 80 points under the tutelage of Walt Rainiac, shows you the long ball. 0-2, the sinker up and in. See you later.
I guess that's why Damian is 0-2 with an earned run average of 7.64. Boy, on the other side of the street. 3-0 White Sox. Carlton Fisk, the designated hitter, lines one foul. There's a young man, a very happy retriever of the Caray's long home run. You notice the attire. That's how warm it is out here today. About 80 degrees. The mailman from last year, he learned it's better to not get all that publicity.
He will remain anonymous this year.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Low and outside. You know, the Cubs almost made a deal that would have brought Carlton Fisk over here from the south side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fouled it back. Boy, it's amazing. You look at a guy like this, and you see how very little his skills have really deteriorated with age. And then you see other guys, you wonder what happened to him.
That's just an example of hard work. I think Bob Boone and Carlton Fisk in the wintertime probably work as hard as any 2 players around, and they realize as they get older, you've got to work that much harder to stay at the top.
2-2 pitch, all 3. First guy I heard that from was Stan Musial. Stan Musial would take the weight off during the winter. When he reported to spring training, he was at playing weight. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Line drive, center field, a base hit. You know, Damian is pitching in AAA baseball.
Let's take a look at the swing of Carlton Fisk and watch him go out there and get it. He knows he's got a couple of strikes and he's got to protect. So he reaches out as he's done so many times in the past and drove it into center field.
Here's Dan Pasqua, who set up the first 2 runs when he doubled following Fisk's walk. There's a strike call. Boy, you begin to wonder, don't you?
About what?
You know, anything can happen in one game, but for 6 straight years they beat the tar out of you. The pitch. There's a base hit up the middle. There goes Fisk, holding up at second.
Well, you just have to be thankful, Harry, that they're not in the same division.
I was just going to say, I imagine the White Sox wish they were in the National League East. Hey, Arnie, we're going to the West Coast. You can bring your white shoes along. 2 men out. 2 men on. 3-0 in favor of the White Sox. There's a drive in the right center field, going to be caught by DeCenzo to retire the side. Martinez flat out. To DeCenzo playing right. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. We go in the bottom of the third. 3-0 in favor of the White Sox. Harry Caray with Steve Stone and Thom Brennaman as we go into the bottom of the third. A couple of changes. Lyons now playing left field for the White Sox. There's a high pop fly. That's Lyons coming in. Makes the catch.
I think it's very nice of the Cubs so far, Harry, to make sure that Steve Lyons has an opportunity to field at every position he's moved to.
The White Sox only got 1 hit in the first inning and failed to score. They got 2 hits in the second inning and scored 2. They got 3 hits in the third inning and scored 1. So Damian has yet to keep him from scoring. They got yet to keep him without a hit. They got a hit, but no runs in the first. Here's Domingo Ramos. Ball 2. Nice crowd on hand, about 30,000 or so. There's a base hit. Domingo Ramos singles the center. That's a first hit off the Waukegan boy.
Jerry Kutzler was selected in the 6th round in June of 1987. Now makes his home in Zion, Illinois.
One out, 1 on. Here's Rick Rona, the catcher. He swings and he fouls it off. Kutzler has good pitching motion out there. He now makes his home in Zion, Illinois. Born in Waukegan. Fouls it off, or did he? Yeah, he fouled it off, and Domingo will have to return.
Greg Walker now playing first base as Lyons continues his journey around the diamond.
That's where he's played so far today. Catch, first, left field. I wonder if he realizes what he does to our score sheets.
It's looking a little ragged already.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a drive way back. It might be. Oh, off the wall. Here's a double for Rona. Rona doubled off the left field wall, and Lyons almost made a circus catch out of it.
Rick Rona hits this one right on the nose, so the Cubs trying to fight back. Lyons goes back into the well and just misses hauling this one down.
Marvell Wind is going to be the pinch hitter for Jerome Walt. Only 1 out. Runners at second and third. You know, Luis Salazar and Scotty Fletcher both have played for the Cubs and the White Sox. Marvell Wind takes it high and outside. Steve Stone played for both clubs.
And was traded for Ron Santo.
And Ron Santo played for both clubs. Phil Roof, the pride of Paducah, Kentucky. Played for the White Sox in '76. Now he's a coach for the Cubs. And White Sox coach Dave LaRoche pitch for the Cubs in his career. Oh, there's a split finger fastball that fooled him. Two balls and a strike. Swung and a miss. Again, he had him way off stride. Two balls, two strikes. Outside, ball three. Kurt Wilkerson will be next. He replaced Sandberg. Three and two. Ball four. The bases are loaded. He almost chased that. So that's the first pass given up by Jerry Kutzler. I think if the Cubs win, the receipts go to Cubs Care. And if the White Sox win, ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Guillen. Steps on second. Safe at first. Almost turned it into a double play.
Almost turned it into a spectacular double play. Dave Slickenmeyer making the call at first. And this is a very close play. Guillen up the middle, takes it himself at second and fires to first. We'll take a look at it one more time. What an outstanding effort by Guillen, who's on the other side of the bag. Now watch this. The slide, takes it himself and throws in the same motion and just misses at first.
You wonder what in the world he was doing over there. That's not in his territory.
What a play.
Great play. Here now is Dwight Smith, 3-1. The Cubs now trailing only by 2. Wilkerson gets a run batted in on the force out. Guillen unassisted at second base. And almost got an inning-ending double play. That'll end the inning right to Guillen. He's got a force play to retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 men left. Thom Brennaman will be coming along in a moment. Harry Caray from Wrigley Field, where the White Sox are leading the Cubs 3-1.
From Stephen King and Sean Carpenter, Christine. Wednesday night at 7.
With our producer-director Arnie Harris and Steve Stone, Thom Brennaman back at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And how about that play by Ozzie Guillen?
I couldn't believe he got to the ball, and then when he did, he just missed Kurt Wilkerson at first base.
Been a pretty good ball game so far. The Sox have out-hit the Cubs and outscored them 3-1, but it's been a fun game.
Well, that's what they're here for, fun and charity, and hopefully the Cubs can beat these guys one time during the course of yours and my career.
Here's another look at that play.
Unbelievable effort by Guillen. He realizes he's got to take it himself, steps on the bag, throws in one motion, and just misses him.
Leading it off will be highly touted third baseman Robin Ventura. Takes a strike. His first trip he hit into a fielder's choice. Sox in front 3-1. And that one's taken inside to even it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Good folks at Gatorade do so much for charity, and today is certainly no different. They are the sponsors of this Windy City Classic. We'd like to thank them very much. Ventura, base hit to center field. And I was looking through the note sheet, Steve, and I noticed that you and Mr. Sano, 2 of 113 players to play for both the Sox and the Cubs.
Well, it's a select club, you know, but the irony is that Ron and I were traded for one another, and we went to the other respective team, in my case the Sox, and in my case the Cubs, in his case the Sox, and it was a trade that really hurt both ball clubs because we were awful for whichever team we were traded to.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck? There's a pitch taken by Scott Fletcher, 1-0. Now, you can't be so hard on yourself. I mean, if you want to beat up Sano a little bit, I do it all the time, so it's no big deal. Ventura over at first. Damian still on the mound for the Cubs. Count even up, 1-1.
Actually, I came over here. That was 1974. My first year, went 8-6, and the ball club finished way back as they were to go on to do in 75 and 76 until I went back over to the Sox.
Nobody out, 1-1. Runner aboard, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Robin Ventura at first base. Scott Fletcher at the plate. He mounts to third his first trip. Cubs trailing their rival White Sox 3-1 here in the 4th. 2-2. Well, there's Ron Sano along with Harry Caray now on the radio side, and here are the other guys including GN Sports Director Dan Rowan and Stone. Well, they're even trying to hide him.
It's a good look. I look especially good over that television.
That's been said many times before. It's 2-2. But how about that? It's so strange how life has its twists and turns, and the fact that you and Sano both now broadcasting in Chicago and having played with both of the teams in the area.
And here's another irony. I threw to Carlton Fisk in the 1980 All-Star game. He's gone on to greatness, and I've gone on to get out of the game and into television.
Little looper that'll drop for a base hit. Ventura will put on the brakes as DeCenzo fields quickly and right. Back-to-back base hits here in the 4th.
And meanwhile, as we reminisce, Len Damian is getting pounded by the Chicago White Sox. The young man falls in the category of so many pitchers who don't have overpowering fastballs. If he doesn't hit his spots perfectly, he's going to have some problems. And he's getting the sinker up today, and the White Sox taking advantage of this beautiful day in Chicago, reestablishing their offense.
So here's the shortstop Ozzie Guillen batting in the 9th spot. Guillen fly to center to end the 2nd inning when the White Sox came up with a couple of runs. Got one more in the 3rd on a solo home run from Karkovice. Nobody out here as he shows bunt, misses 0-1, but 2 on in the inning.
You're too young to remember that song, but Arnie Harris will bear me out. They wrote it about him, Begin to Begin. It was an excellent tune many years ago.
Well, you and the music world. Yeah, the same day yesterday who sang Happy Earth Day to You.
Arnie hasn't had a lake shot this year, and the lake is starting to look pretty good.
Runners on the go. Run will have the runner at third easily. So the hit and run that fell apart has Ventura knocked off, trying to move to third, but on the second base goes Scott Fletcher.
Easiest play in the world for a catcher with a left-hand hitter up is to gun down that man at third base. He's got a good look at it. Here comes Ventura right into the tag.
Count now 0-2 on Ozzie Guillen. At second base is Scott Fletcher with the White Sox in front. 3-1 here in the 4th. Slapped out of play. It'll still remain no balls and 2 strikes to the fine young shortstop of the Chicago White Sox.
Everybody criticized that trade when the trade was made, as we do see the lake shot. It's looking very nice. The trade with the San Diego Padres for Lamar Hoyt. And everybody knows that he fell on hard times, and Guillen still solid.
This should get a run home. Base hit to center field. Here comes Fletcher to score, and the White Sox now lead it 4-1.
Right back up through the middle. Not much Domingo Ramos can do about this one. And here comes Scott Fletcher. So Damian continues to struggle. 9 White Sox hits with only 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Dave Gallagher steps in for the 3rd time as Don Zimmer can only watch. He's seen some tough, hard times these last 4 days. Runner on the go, throw down from Rona, and they will not get him. Give Ozzie Guillen a stolen base. Dave Gallagher is 0 for 2, has bounced to short and grounded to 3rd.
Ozzie Guillen, obviously in an exhibition game, working on his stolen bases. Kind of surprising, but Jeff Torberger's run all day today. I think he's trying to get his ball club to think aggressively, because he knows he's not going to hit the ball out of the park too often. So he's going to have to do it with a lot of bunts, a lot of hit and runs, and a lot of steals, like the Go-Go Sox of old.
1-0 to Gallagher, and now it goes to 2-0. Torborg is such a terrific guy just to talk to, and he realizes, of course, as many others do, that this is not a team that is going to contend for the championship this year in the American League's Western Division, but he feels like it's a team that has some fine young players that over the course of time could develop into a pretty decent ball club.
Rick Rona trying to say that that ball was fair. Doesn't work out that way. It hit Gallagher in the box, and Rona tagged Gallagher quickly and was going after Ozzie Guillen when Joe Marr said, "Come on back here. Ball's foul." You know, Jeff Torberg said something interesting about last year's team, and they're already ahead of that situation in that for the All-Star game, they lost 56 games last year. And so before the season really started for the White Sox, it was over. It was time to build some character in the second half, and they had a decent second half. But this year they're off pretty well, 5-4, and second behind just a powerhouse of a ball club in Oakland.
2-1 to Dave Gallagher with Guillen at second base. And there is strike 2 called to even things up at 2-2.
Tom, how would you like to be with a ball club that could have a pretty good year? Let's say they go 81-81. They could still conceivably lose by 25 games to the Oakland A's.
Not only that, you toss in teams like Kansas City, much improved certainly from a pitching perspective, along with California. Bouncing ball to third, and it'll get past into left field. Holding at third base is Ozzie Guillen. That'll go for a base hit, and the White Sox have him at first and third with 1 down.
This ball takes the big hop, and I think Greg Smith is now at third. Not much he can do with it. As Joe Girardi getting up, he'll warm up somebody in that bullpen. Steve Lyons couldn't hit as a catcher, and he certainly couldn't hit as a first baseman. So let's see if he can hit as a left fielder now.
Well, he tagged that ball pretty good to left field, but Dwight Smith came on and robbed him of a base hit. He fanned his last trip. Has a chance to get a run home with a man at third and less than 2 down. Here's a pitch. Check swing. Go and appeal down to third. Yes. 0-1.
Dick Cavanaugh says he went around as Laddie Renfro starts to throw in the bullpen.
Gallagher at first. Over at third is Ozzie Guillen. 1 in the inning. The Sox on top 4-1. Damian check it in. Gets a sign from Rona. And the pitch. It's a double play to end the inning. And how about that? Lloyd McClendon hit right in his tracks, stepped on the bag, and that is that. But the Sox come up with a run on 4 base hits. No errors, 1 left. 4-1 White Sox, middle of the 4th. Joining us now, one of the all-time great catchers to ever put on the gear in Major League Baseball, Carlton Fisk. And you've been around so long, and you're with a young team. What's it been like for you this year?
Well, some of these kids are young enough to be my kids. You know, that's the difficult part about it. I feel as though I have a role on the team, and a lot of times it's the father role, the elder statesman role. So it's been fun in that I've been able to share the knowledge I've gained over the years and the experience that I have with these kids, some of whom are legitimate major league players, and some of them are players that may be a year or so away, but they're here, so they have to go through that on-the-job training, and that makes my role that much more important.
Of course, Carlton Fisk, without question, one of the all-time greats. He is just 13 home runs shy of breaking Johnny Bench's record in Major League Baseball for home runs by a catcher. Sox in front 4-1 as McClendon steps up for the first time, fouls it out of play, 1-2.
Sox have a man in their bullpen by the name of Don Paul that I can really relate to. He gave up the first home run in the career of Felix Fermin. I gave up the only home run in the career of Dwayne Kuiper. The advantage he has is that Felix Fermin has got a chance to hit another one.
Kuiper's never going to hit another one.
No doubt about that.
Fly ball to left field. Gallagher over towards the line and hauls it in. You saw a shot of Steve Lyons, who is now at his 4th position of this very young game. He is now in center. Started off behind the plate, went over to first, left field, and now flips flops with Gallagher into center. And this covers it for you in a much better way than I can say it. Started behind the plate, went over to first, into left, and now in center. And Arnie Harris has a little bit more work to do on that graphic before this afternoon is finished. Doug DeCenzo batting for the first time and fouls it off, 0-1. Doug, a 200 batter, has a couple of RBIs on that home run he hit against Philadelphia. Yeah, Kuiper is just talking about how home run now in San Francisco.
The ironic part is both of them came in Cleveland Stadium.
Speaking of Cleveland Stadium, as the count is 0-1 on DeCenzo, that's a foul ball, 0-2. Caught Major League again last night for about the 15th time.
Did you love it?
Absolutely love it. I wondered where your part in that movie was, however.
I've never seen the film, so I can't. I saw Bull Durham and I saw The Natural. Of course, I saw Field of Dreams, but haven't seen Major League yet.
Think you'd like it.
Okay.
0-2 pitch to DeCenzo. Check swing right into the seats. Hope somebody's all right down there. It appears to be the case. And a lucky fan has a souvenir from this Gatorade Windy City Classic. Gorgeous day at the ballpark, as is every day here at Wrigley Field. Kutzler will handle it, and 2 down here in the Cubs' 4th, trailing 4-1.
Quietly, Jerry Kutzler's putting together quite a performance here, and he's doing it with a lot of straight changes and what seems to be a forkball, and keeping the Cubs off balance. Len Damian, a rocky performance, gave up a hit in the first, 2 hits in the second, 3 hits in the third, 4 hits in the fourth. And if progression is the name of the game, he doesn't want to come out for the 5th. It looks like Laddie Renfro is going to come into the ball game.
Sox got 2 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Cubs got 1 in the 3rd inning on an RBI from Curtis Wilkerson. A splendid play turned in by Ozzie Guillen, who fielded behind the bag, made a step forward, touched it, gunned to first, and just missed, turning the double play. Dave Clark, a fly ball to left. Here comes Gallagher, and Kutzler has knocked him down once again. 1-2-3. We go to the 5th. The White Sox in front, 4-1.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Pepsi Cola General Bottlers. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Of course, you're closing in on the all-time home run record by a catcher, and you haven't really put much personal stock in those kind of things, but as you get closer, does it mean any more to you, perhaps?
Well, I think myself, when I play the game, I don't think about, over the years, what the years have built up to be. I played a long time. I've missed a lot of games because of career-threatening injuries and other obstacles that have been presented along the way. So throughout my career, I've missed almost 5 years as a result. So I'm trying to play as well as I can play and be as productive as I can be, and then we'll let the numbers lie where they end up when it's over. But this year is going to be very important. And when I do hit a few and I do get closer, a lot of people are going to dwell on it quite a bit.
4-1 ball game. Carlton Fisk and the White Sox in front as we go to the 5th inning, and Don Zimmer has employed his second pitcher of the afternoon, Laddie Renfroe, after a somewhat auspicious outing from one Len Damian.
What a year last year for Laddie Renfroe. 19-7 with 15 saves and a 3.14 ERA in 78 games at Charlotte of the Southern League. He was named the league's outstanding pitcher by Baseball America. Off to a very good start this year. He's 2-0 with 1 save and a 2.0 ERA at Iowa of the American Association.
Kark of ice, a fly ball into center. Marvell Wynn handles it, 1 away. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, we're going to talk to a couple of the folks from Quaker Oats and Gatorade, of course, the sponsors of this Windy City Classic event. Do so much tremendous work for charity. We'll talk a little bit about it in the bottom of the 5th. Carlton Fisk has walked and scored, also has a single to his credit in the 3rd. How does he rank up there, Steve, in your opinion, talking about Fisk, with some of the all-time greats? Of course, he played in the same day with Johnny Bench, Thurman Munson, among others, but going way back, where do you think he fits in?
Well, I think as a catcher and a handler of pitchers, probably right up there with anybody. When you talk about his offensive abilities, he's always been a steady performer. He hasn't had the greatness of some of the other ones, but because of the length of tenure, obviously those numbers start to pile up. And I think the hallmark for Fisk is the fact that year after year he's around. He's been on the disabled list a few times during the course of his career, but this is a quality catcher and one of the best ever.
Swing and a miss. Renfroe in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. The White Sox in front of Don Zimmer's Cubs, 4-1.
Even now, the White Sox feel that they're a much better pitching team when Carlton Fisk is behind the plate because of his knowledge of the hitters and how to work a young pitcher on the mound.
Again fouled out of play, and the count will remain at 1-2. Big crowd on hand. Very few, if any, empty seats around Wrigley Field. And you couldn't ask for a more gorgeous day for baseball. Wilkerson will handle it. Throw over to McClendon. 2 up and 2 down. Renfroe throwing strikes.
And I think what typifies a career of Carlton Fisk was that lazy little ground ball to second base. Now here's a guy who's 42 years old. This game doesn't mean anything. Wilkerson took his time getting the ball to first, and he just beat Fisk by a step, who ran that ball out. That's why he's been around so long. The fact that he still has desire.
Here's Dan Pasqua, who's had a perfect afternoon. Doubled and scored in the 2nd. Single to center in the 3rd. It's so interesting talking to Fisk, asking him what keeps him going, and he said without question it's simply the competition. The fact that he feels he can compete as well as, if not better, than 25, 24-year-old players. 1-1 pitch. And now it's 2 balls and a strike.
If you don't have absolutely overwhelming physical tools, you still have to compete with your head. Not a lot of guys compete better with their head than Carlton Fisk.
Inside, count goes to 3-1. They're on the rooftops for this one as well. There isn't a day that goes by if there's baseball at Wrigley. Rest assured, the fans, some of the buildings along the way will be out watching it. There is a drive to deep left field. Looking up is Smith. Home run.
Apparently it was aggravating for Dan Pasqua, the fact that he only had 5 at-bats, and he decided if this is going to be his only opportunity, why not, well, hit for the cycle. He's a triple away from hitting for the cycle as he drove that ball on a line into the left field seats. Not much doubt about this. A sinker down. It's a pretty good pitch. But a lot of left-hand hitters are good low ball hitters, and he goes the other way.
Here's Greg Walker. His only at bat, he flied to center field to end the 3rd inning. And the White Sox in front of the Cubs now 5-1. Danny Pasqua, a single, a double, and a home run. 1-1. Be leaving tonight after the game with stops in San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Tomorrow night's game is a 9:30 game Chicago time, so make sure you tune in as the Cubs will get it on with the Padres, a team who's playing pretty good baseball right now, though they were beaten last night by Ackley Hammaker and the Giants. They'll do it again tonight at Jack Murphy. 1-2. Slow roller. Smith charges. He'll have to let it go, and he got him. Maybe a little help there. Nevertheless, it adds up to 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left through 4.5. How about that shot? There's a look at Arnie Harris in the blue sweater. The Sox in front 5-1. Sox in front 5-1. Steve Lyons now at his 5th position to the ball game. He is the new White Sox shortstop. Greg Smith leads it off. Fly ball to center field and 1 away. And now we take another look at the roving Steve Lyons. Started behind the plate, went to first base, to left field, center field, and now at shortstop. Joining us here, Phil Marinu, Executive Vice President of the Quaker Oats Company, and Bill Schmidt, Vice President of Sports Marketing for Quaker Oats. And Phil, first of all, thanks so much for this ball game, and I know it's something that eventually winds up into the hands of some charity. Some of the money's raised here.
That's right. This is all for charity. Not all for charity, but we're making a substantial donation to charity as part of this, and so we're really pleased to do it. We're a Chicago-based company, and as makers of Gatorade, both the Cubs and Sox are big users of Gatorade, so it's a natural combination for us to sponsor the Windy City Classic here.
I know you told me a little bit earlier you're a Chicago native, and you grew up, and as a matter of fact, you spent a lot of time here at Wrigley Field.
I sure did. I spent a lot of time in the bleachers and the grandstands and riding the L to Wrigley Field from Rogers Park, where I grew up.
Turning now to you, Bill, and obviously Gatorade, and you're the sports marketing vice president of the Quaker Oats Company, and certainly sports is a very big part of you guys' product.
Well, there's no question about it. We have a unique position where you pretty much have to utilize our product, unlike some of the other products that do get involved in sports marketing. We do over 6,000 events a year nationwide, and now launching our program globally. So it's been a good opportunity for us to marry up some of the events that are out there.
Phil made the comment that the warm weather certainly helps sell a little bit of Gatorade.
It's amazing. As the temperature goes up, so do sales. It's incredible.
Guys, thanks again. We appreciate you coming by, and we'll look to you again next year.
It's a deal. Thanks very much.
You betcha. Bill, take care.
Thank you, Tom.
Phil Marinu and Bill Schmidt, Executive Vice President of the Quaker Oats Company and the Vice President of Sports Marketing for Quaker Oats. They've put on another splendid event here. 1 down in the inning, and Rick Rona pops it up. Karkovice will have a play in foul ground, 2 away with Domingo Ramos at first after drilling a base hit.
Jerry Kutzler still in control. He's given up just 3 hits. Cubs trailing 5-1. The only man to solve him is Domingo Ramos, who's 2 for 2, and now the bullpen up and going for the White Sox.
Wayne Edwards, the left-hander, starting to crank it up down there, and as Steve mentioned, Kutzler's done a nice job. Ground ball to second, Fletcher over to first, and that's the inning. No runs, a hit. 1 left. We go to the 6th with the visitors, the White Sox, in front 5-1. With our producer director Arnie Harris and Steve Stone, Thom Brennaman back at Wrigley Field, where the Cubs trail the White Sox 5-1. Robin Ventura, Scott Fletcher, the first 2 batters here in the inning. We'll see who hits for Ozzie Guillen. Back up the middle, it'll be a base hit. Ventura's second and 3 trips.
Hardly a home game goes by without these Buick dealers here, and today is no exception. Gordon Walker of Bauer Buick on hand, Bill Knaus of Wenben Buick, and Ed Bayer of Courtesy Buick. taking in a ball game on a beautiful day.
Scott Fletcher, 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 4th inning. Steve, let's talk a little bit about this upcoming West Coast road trip. Going to see some good pitching, at least in the first 2 stops. We don't know who the starters may be yet in San Francisco, but traditionally the West Coast has not been kind to many teams coming from the East and the Midwest, and the Cubs certainly will take off for the West Coast, not playing particularly good baseball right now. They really need to get back on track.
Ironically, the first trip west for the Cubs has usually been a good one. But of course, that was when San Diego wasn't as strong as they are this year. LA was having some problems, and San Francisco, a very good team last year, but the Cubs played San Francisco very tough. It's going to be a very difficult trip. And one of the positive signs is that Andre Dawson continues to hit the ball hard. If the Cubs can get Mark Grace hitting the ball consistently, get a little more offense, it'll take some of the pressure off the pitching staff. I think that's what everybody's looking for.
Fouled out a play by Scott Fletcher. The count is 0-2.
You know, it's always easier to pitch in a ball game if you get 3 or 4 runs early. But if it's always 1-1 or you're always trailing early because of the inability of your offense to generate much, every pitch becomes the World Series. And for the young guys, Wilson and Nunez and Harkey, it's even doubly tough for them.
Should be 2, 4, 6, 3, double play. Well, the Cubs will have their ace opening up on the road. It'll be Greg Maddux in that first game against San Diego tomorrow night. And again, Central Time start. It's 9:30. We certainly hope you'll join us here on WGN Chicago's Channel 9.
Pretty good rotation as far as the Cubs are concerned, because they've got Maddux, Bilecki, and Harkey going against San Diego. It's going to be Rasmussen, Whitson, and Hurst going for San Diego. A couple of night games and a day game.
Darrell Boston, the Cincinnati native, leading it off, or rather with 2 down. He steps up for the first time. 1-1 to him. This guy has a younger brother. I saw play a lot of high school basketball in Cincinnati. Went on a scholarship to Wichita State. He was also one of the most sought after baseball players in the country. Fouled out of play, 1-2. He's about Darrell's size as Dean Wilkins warms up in the bullpen. Two and two. Haven't seen the pitching probables as far as the Dodgers are concerned, but as is always the case, they possess a pretty potent rotation.
And now they've got a young man by the name of Ramon Martinez that's throwing the ball unbelievably well. You know, he showed signs last year of being a guy that they could depend on for this year. But adding him to a staff that was already loaded, that becomes certainly the strong point of that team. And Tommy Lasorda, I know, who's always about the most positive man west of the Mississippi, feels he's got a good shot at it this year.
Well, the Dodgers are in second place behind red-hot Cincinnati. Only 3 games back. And we'll have a long homestand. The Pirates will make a stop in Los Angeles, followed by the Cubs. And Ramon Martinez, I remember last year, was called up for a start through a shutout and was sent right back down to the minor leagues. Count still 2-2 on Boston.
I don't think they liked his pickoff move to first. They felt that he had something to work on. So actually, he got caught up in the old numbers game. You've heard of that a few times when they had one of their pitchers coming back off the disabled list, and I'm not sure who it was. But here's a young man who couldn't have done anything more. I think the start was in Atlanta. Threw brilliantly. Nice to see you. Here's your ticket back to the minors.
Thanks a lot. Boston, a lazy fly ball to center. Drifting towards left is Marvell. Makes a catch, and that's the inning. No runs a hit, nobody left. Middle of the 6th. The White Sox in front of the Cubs, 5-1.
From Stephen King and Sean Carpenter, Christine. Wednesday night at 7.
Later tonight on Channel 9, art instigates life when POWs and Greek freedom fighters battle each other to control a priceless art collection. Roger Moore and Telly Savalas star in Escape to Athena tonight at 11:30 on Chicago's very own Channel 9. The Steve Lyons watch continues. Now at his 6th position of the afternoon, he is in right field. So 6 of 9 he's covered so far. Curtis Wilkerson followed by Dwight Smith and then Lloyd McClendon. And once again, our graphic look at Lyons. Started behind the plate, went to first, to left, to center, to short, and now to right.
Lyons sleeps in right. Is that what
that's
what's happening? This is young Edwards on the mound.
Wayne Edwards.
He's a left-hander.
Right. And we got all the sheets today of the guys that might be pitching.
But his name was missing. Here it is, because he's in the book, that's why. With the White Sox last year, 3.68 ERA in 7 games, started in Sarasota in '85. Sun Valley, California, attended Azusa Pacific. How about that? There are the numbers this year.
Curtis Wilkerson bounced into a fielder's choice with an RBI. Ventura fields towards the line. Good strong arm by that young man. 1 down. Torberg very high on Robin Ventura, a highly touted rookie.
They're ecstatic with the way he's fielding at third base because it allows them a lot of flexibility now. When they saw him, they called him up. He was a little heavy, and they felt that first base would have to be his position. But when they called him back to the major leagues, he had lost weight. He now had some mobility, and he's fielded very well at third.
Dwight Smith takes high. Smitty 0 for 2. Bounced to third and grounded into a short to second fielder's choice. Smitty still looking to get that stroke going. Count even to him at 1 ball and 1 strike. White Sox in front here in the bottom of the 6th by a score of 5-1 in the Gatorade Windy City Classic. And you couldn't pick a more perfect day for the game. A little bit low, 2-1. Wayne Edwards now on the mound. Still Walker at first, Fletcher at second. We're checking on the shortstop. Robin Ventura is the third baseman. Boston in left, Gallagher in center, Lyons in right, Karkovice catching. 2-2. Grebeck, the shortstop.
Ah, Grebeck.
We've heard that name for the first time. Swing and a miss. Down goes Smitty. Edwards, his first strikeout. 2 down in the 6th. It's that kind of day.
Grebeck playing short.
Here's Lloyd McClendon. Lloyd is 0 for 1. Fly to center to lead off the 4th.
Hope he fouls one off so I can get the disclaimer in.
Well, jump in.
No, I want him to foul one off. We don't want to break in all this action.
2-0. Fire away.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
I like to pause there as the pitch was coming just in case something happened.
He's going to call a home run.
3-1 to McClendon.
You never know.
You never know. That's so true.
Timing, as we know, is everything.
Certainly the largest part of life. And now that we are finished philosophizing a little bit. McClendon on with a walk. 2 down in the inning. Cubs trailing at 5-1, and Doug DeCenzo coming to bat.
Wayne Maurice Edwards is 26 years old. Was at Birmingham for most of the season last year, where he was most impressive at 10-4. Not too bad. The ERA 3.19 was used primarily as a starter.
Working in relief of Jerry Kutzler, who was very impressive. Kutzler went 5 innings, surrendered only 3 hits and 1 run, and that came on a fielder's choice ground ball. So that young man has to be pleased with his outing today. Doug DeCenzo hits a rocket fair down the third base line. McClendon's coming to third, and he'll get there as DeCenzo coasts into second base. So maybe the Cubs can jump back in this one, trailing 5-1.
Line drive by Doug DeCenzo. Once again hit very hard. The fastball low and in. Edwards tried to get it there. DeCenzo wouldn't let him do it. And I'll tell you, Tom, with the pitching problems the White Sox have had and the type of spring that Kutzler had, coupled with this performance, I got to believe that we're going to see him in Chicago pitching for the White Sox in the not too distant future. He was pretty impressive here today.
He certainly was, and that's one thing that Torborg talked a little bit about before the game. He likes his position players, but he said, to be quite honest, his pitching staff is in shambles. And you're right. An outing like that could be very important for Jerry Kutzler. Dave Clark, 0 for 2, is bounced to first and fly to left. 2 aboard.
It might be very important for Wayne Edwards to keep his eye on Lloyd McClendon, who was halfway down before he ever delivered the ball. That's Sammy Ellis going to the mound to have a talk with him. I'm not so sure that if McClendon breaks, they can throw him out. He had a tremendous lead at third. I think he's asking for permission now to steal home. Try to settle him down. I think we've got an exhibition game here. I don't know if he wants to get involved in that.
Chuck Cottier talking it over with him in the third base coaching box. McClendon at third, DeCenzo at second, and Clark at the dish. Clark, the designated hitter today. How did you like that rule, by the way? How do you like it?
I liked it a lot from a pitching standpoint. I never had to leave the game in the 6th or 7th inning for a pinch hitter.
Should end the inning. Walker is there, and that'll do it. So whatever Sammy Ellis said had an effect as Edwards retires Dave Clark to end the inning. Harry Caray's coming back with you in the 7th after 6. 5-1 White Sox.
Read up on all the action every month in Byline, the official newspaper of the Chicago Cubs. Every issue is packed with dozens of articles about your favorite Cubs players and coaches. Catch up on what's happening around the Cubs minor league system. Read monthly columns by Don Zimmer, Jim Brosnan, and many guest writers throughout the season. To order your subscription, send a check or money order for $17.95 to Cubs Byline, Post Office Box 1159, Skokie, Illinois, or call 281-5050, extension 296.
Because we're comedy geniuses, we can change and add any scene.
You are the two best actors I've ever seen at second sitting in the last 15, 20 minutes.
Thanks, Holly. You're pretty funny.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, Better Buick dealers.
For them.
Harry Caray and Steve Stone with Thom Brennaman as we go now into the top of the 7th. It's all White Sox so far. Here's Gallagher to lead it off. There's the scoring summary. Martinez a 2-run single in the 2nd. Karkovice a solo home run in the 3rd. Guillen a RBI single scoring Fletcher in the 4th. And Pasqua a solo home run in the left field bleachers, although he's a left-hand hitter, in the 5th. 2 balls and a strike.
Dean Wilkins now throwing for the Cubs. Trying to work out some early season woes. Get that split finger fastball a little more consistent.
Renfroe allowed a home run, but he didn't look bad in there. He looked better than Damian, I'd say. Now the pitch. Low and outside. Dave Gallagher. He's 1 out of 3. Ball 4. He walked him. I wonder how many games in a row you have to win before you retire the trophy in the Crosstown Classic.
We're heading into the 6th year, and the White Sox are undefeated at 4-0-1. Somewhere along the line, the Cubs are going to break through.
Here now is Lyons. There's a pitch outside. He has played catch. He has played left, center, and right. He has played second. There's the spots he's performed on. With 3 more innings to go.
Well, maybe when he goes to the mound in the 8th inning, Harry, the Cubs can get something going.
No, he held them scoreless last year, remember?
But he's a year older now.
2 years ago, wasn't it? 15-inning game?
2 years ago.
He and Jim Sundberg set baseball back 100 years. Here's the pitch swung and he missed. Steve Lyons. The pitch is outside. 3-1. Lyons out of Tacoma, Washington. They throw to second for 1. That's all they can get. Lyons forces Gallagher from McClendon to Ramos.
Talk about versatility, and Steve Lyons is certainly showing it here today, but the Cubs have a man in Lloyd McClendon that gives you a pretty good effort wherever Don Zimmer decides to put him. We've seen him behind the plate. We've seen him in left field. He's an excellent first baseman. This man can pick it. This is a tough play. Coming in, charging the ball, making the good solid throw, and no return.
There's a pitch a little bit inside. Karkovitz, who homered in the 3rd. You know, Lyons has spent his entire major league career with the Sox. Either the Red Sox or the White Sox. He started his career with 3 years, 2 years with the Red Sox. Now he's been with the White Sox since. With a little interim work in Buffalo and Hawaii. So when I ask him who he plays with, all he has to remember is Sox. There's a strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Karkowitz hit his home run with a count of 0-2 against Lenny Damian. He struck him out. Karkowitz goes down swinging.
Now we're going to see Ron Kittle, and he'll get a hand here. Always been a Chicago favorite. A man with a lot of power.
Boy, when he hits it, I guess he's hit as many as anybody on the roof at Comiskey Park. A local area boy swings and he misses.
I don't think he's capable of hitting it on that roof, however.
I don't know about that. There's a ground ball to short. Ramos throws the second to the 4th side. So 1 man left. We go in the bottom of the 7th. It's the White Sox 5 and the Cubs 1. The Cubs and the Sox. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me something. For Well, Steve Lyons is now at third base. John Hudek is the new pitcher. Look at all the spots he's played. What's missing? Pitch in second base. Here is Greg Smith to lead it off against John Hudek. Hudek, 6'1", 200-pounder out of Orlando, Florida. Curveball in there, a strike call. He's only 23 years old, Hudek. He spells it Hudek. Out of Orlando, Florida.
Jose Segura warming up the bullpen for the Sox.
Robin Ventura switches from third base to right field.
Said the last time he was in right field was 3 years ago at Oklahoma State.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Hudek is with the Birmingham team. This is his first appearance against a major league club. Ball forward, there's a good beginning. So Hudek walks the first man he faces. There's Asikian with his youngsters. Boy, what a great play he made. He got a base hit driving in a run. Now let's see.
Lyons is going out to right field and Ventura is coming in. So Jeff Torberg still playing this close to the vest. It's not that he wants to use Lyons in right again. It's just that he'd rather have the glove man at third.
Well, Lyons is not that bad an infielder. He's played there before. All right, here now is Ramos. He's had 2 of the 3 hits, 4 hits now that the Cubs have made. Fastball low, ball 1. Hudek, Hudek. There's a drive in the right field, going deep, all the way to Maben. Nice cutoff by Lyons. Here's a runner around third, going to try to score, and he does. A 5-2 ball. Domingo Ramos' third hit of the afternoon is a bullet of the line drive. I think they got Lyons in the outfield just in time to keep that from rolling to the wall.
Lyons went into the wall. He got there just in time, and watch what happens to him.
Whoa!
He gets smoked into the pads down there. Fortunately, he's all right. He comes up throwing. But there's going to be a conference on the mound between Sammy Ellis and young John Hudek.
Now Hudek knows how Len Damian felt. Damian worked 4 innings for the Cubs and was pounded for 10 hits, 4 runs. Boy, Ramos has had a perfect day. 3 out of 3. Here's Rona. 5-2 now. Low. One more man on, it would bring up the tying run. Marvell Wynn is next. Ooh, he swung at a bad ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. I just wonder. There's a high fly ball, easy out. Runner flies to Gallagher in center. 1 out. You know, Rona swings so hard. I wonder how many home runs he thinks he's capable of hitting. Probably he'll never hit more than 6 or 7 if he caught every day, played every day, maybe 10. But he could make himself a much more effective hitter by cutting down on his swing, it seems to me.
I think a lot of guys find themselves in the same position, Harry. They're home run hitters with warning track power. I mean, to a certain extent, Doug DeCenzo hits way too many fly balls than he should be hitting. He doesn't have that kind of power, but sometimes a guy who's had success at every level finds himself in the major leagues, and it's hard for him to evaluate his own talent and where he'd be best suited.
There's a pitch in the dirt. The count is evened up, a ball and a strike. One pitch. Fouled it out of play. 1-2. Around 30,000 fans here. Ben Stein basking in the sunshine behind the Sox dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That evens a count, 2-2. The outfield straightaway. Trying to check his swing and hit the ball foul into the stand. Win is 0 for 1 in the game. Ball 3. 3-2. Wilkerson will be next. A chance for the Cubs to get back into contention with a base runner here. A high pop foul out of play.
Marvell's hanging pretty tough, spoiling some good pitches. They shade him around toward left center field. The gap is in right center.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out. Wynn goes down swinging. Jerry Kutzler went the first 5 innings, allowed only 3 hits, 1 run. Wayne Edwards pitched the 6th, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, no run. Kurt Wilkerson. Facing John Huddick. That evens it up. A ball and a strike. Dwight Smith would be next. Fouled it back.
Hudek seems to throw the ball pretty hard. The Cubs haven't had great swings at him. Got some life on his fastball, so he's got a chance. Looks to be a career reliever at this point.
Huddick is the guy's name. That's a wrong shirt. John Huddick pitched for South Bend last year. finishing with a 7-2 mark and a 1.980 earned run average. There's a base hit, left field. Here's a runner around third. He's racing to the plate. Here's a throw, and he is saved. And that makes it a 5-3 ball game. As Wilkerson came through.
Darrell Boston came up firing just off the end of the bat, and Wilkerson dumps the ball into left field, and Ramos running all the way. Chuck Cottier says, let's see what he's got in left field. And Ramos has got enough to beat the throw. Look at it one more time. The ball comes bouncing in, but not in time to get Domingo.
Well, here's Dwight Smith now. If he'd get hold of one, it'd be all tied up just like that. Fastball outside. McClendon is next.
And we could harken back to 1988 in that 15-inning affair.
Smith 0 for 3 today. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. John Hudek out of Tampa, Florida. Woo, he was swinging for it, but he did not connect. Two balls and a strike. Had a swing, fouled it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Cubs are now within 2. The tying runs at the plate. Line drive to the shortstop, Gerback. Smith hit the ball hard, but right at Gerback. 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 left. At the end of 7, White Sox lead 5-3. We go into the 8th. 5-3 White Sox. Dean Wilkins on the hill. Gerback, the shortstop, a little guy. He makes Guillen look like a giant. He's about 5'6", it would appear.
Craig Grebeck.
They list Guillen at 5'11". Boy, he doesn't seem that tall. Curveball in there, a beauty. Grebeck out of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. They list him at 5'8". Steve Lyons is in the bullpen. He'll be their next pitcher. Two and 2. There's a high fly ball. That little rascal's got good power. And Dwight Smith makes the catch. Grebeck flies deep. It looked like he only had one hand on the bat. And he sent Smith to the ivy.
He's got some pop. He hit 15 home runs in 1987, 9 home runs in 88, and he hits this ball hard. That's the Walt Rainiac school of hitting, where you actually take a hand off the bat and follow through. In any event, he knocked in 80 runs last year at Birmingham.
He had 15 home runs in Peninsula in 87, 9 with Birmingham in 88, 5 with Birmingham last year. And had a home run in spring training for the White Sox. 1 out. Greg Walker, who replaced Martinez. 0 for 1. There's a high fly ball. Should be caught. Marvell win. That'll bring up Robin Ventura. 2 hits so far. 2 out of 3. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Now you want to clean off that sweater? Strike called. 2 men out. We're in the 8th. White Sox out in front. They've been there all day long. They got 2 in the second, 1 in the third to lead 3-0. The Cubs got 1, made it 3-1. Then the White Sox got 1, 4-1. Again, the next one in the 5th, 5-1. The White Sox got 2 in the bottom, or the Cubs rather got 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and that's where we are. 2 balls and a strike, 2 out. This is the only game in the major leagues. Strike call. Ventura, 2 out of 3. Well, they're on the rooftops. The pitch. A little bit low. I guess they all left the office. They had an emergency at home and came out to the rooftop. There you see the Cubs bullpen. Ball 4, Ventura walk. That brings up Scotty Fletcher. Pitch is in there, a strike call. Fletcher will be 32 in July.
They credit him with solidifying their inner defense. Now they've got a fine double play combination in Guillen and Fletcher.
There's a pitch a little bit outside. I wonder what the history of the Cubs would have been had Fletcher had not been traded. He was just he was only about 22 years old. There's a high pop fly. Wilkerson going out. Makes the catch to retire the side. Fletcher pop to Wilkerson. 1 man left. No hits, no run. We go in the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 White Sox.
When I hit one over the fence at Wrigley Field, I hit it over a true link fence. The hundreds of styles of chain link, ornamental iron, and wood fencing called True Link.
Harry Caray and Steve Stone. We go in the bottom of the 8th, and there is Steve Lyons, who has played every position on the field with the exception of second base, which he will do next inning.
And his nickname is Psycho, hence that banner you saw, Let Psycho Pitch. There it is.
Everywhere but second base. You see him slotted there for you. Here we go. McClendon takes it high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jeff Pico throwing in the bullpen for the Cubs.
Ground ball, deep shot. Away! Fumbled by Gerbach. The throw, no throw, safe. Gerbach fumbles Coleman's ground, McClellan's ground ball. An error.
Craig Greback looks like he's going to make this play. He just bobbles it, and now a meeting at the mound, and that's going to be it for Steve Lyons. He's out of there. A tough performance, but I think Jeff Torborg doesn't want him to get hurt on the mound, and he also wants him to play second. If the Cubs come up with a few runs here, he might not have an opportunity to do that.
He's probably going to tell Torborg, what in the world do I have to do? I made him hit a perfectly easy ground ball. My shortstop Greback fumbled. Well, why don't you take out the shortstop? Don't take me out. We'll be back with more following this message.
What do you want on your headstone, Joe?
What do you want on yours, Felicity?
Innocent Americans held hostage. Terrorists brought to justice. Burt Lancaster, Eva Marie Saint, Robert Culp, Rebecca Schaefer, filmed on location, on board the ship where it actually happened. A true story, a world premiere event. Voyage of Terror, the Achille Lauro Affair. Coming May 1st to Channel 9.
There he is. Now he's been at every position. He winds up at second base. He caught. He played first. Now he's playing second, short, third, left, center, and right. Good friend of Bob Beck, Bob Havish. I wish him a quick recovery. And here is DeCenzo. He doubled in the 6th.
Jose Segura on the mound for the White Sox. He's had 2 stints with the Sox, briefly in '88, 7 appearances last year, in '89 with the White Sox.
27 years old. There's a drive foul.
Jose Segura, a native of the Dominican Republic, originally signed with the Philadelphia Phillies, where he spent his first 3 years. Then he bounced around the minor leagues, eventually getting to Toronto, and '88 with the White Sox at Vancouver.
Boy, he's modeled a few uniforms. Indeed he has. Throw to first, runner back. He was at Helena, Spartanburg, Bend, Kinston, Knoxville, Syracuse, Vancouver. The White Sox. Strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Greback to shortstop. Ventura's at third. Lyons at second. Greg Walker, the first baseman. Throw over to first, runner back. Inside. 2-2 now. McClendon, the runner at first. Nobody out. There's Dimmer. Double play ball. Greback steps on second, throws it first. Greback to Walker. And that took care of his own error. And he erased it on that ground ball.
Taylor made 2, and Greback decides he's going to take it himself. He looks at Lyons, but figures, I can do it a little easier.
Here now is Dave Clark. 5-3. Favor the White Sox. Bottom of the 8th. If the White Sox win, they'll have a perfect mark against the Cubs. They would have beaten them 5 times, lost to them nary once. The closest they came to losing is when they played a 15-inning tie 2 years ago. 0-1 the count. Curveball inside. Strike called over the outside corner. Dave Clark is nothing out of 3. He struck him out. So at the end of 8, White Sox lead 5-3.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Canon Camera, the official camera of the Chicago Cubs.
Caray back at Wrigley Field. Here's a paid attendance, 37,135. We go into the 9th. Ground ball, that, whoa, bounces by McLendon. It probably will be a base hit.
That one almost took the glove right off the hand of Lloyd McClendon. Took a big hop, spinning as it hits the skin part of the infield and just bounds up over the glove.
So Darrell Boston is on, and he's a very fast base runner. Boston's on, base hit. 13 hits for the White Sox, 6 for the Cubs. 3 of them by Domingo Ramos. Here's Dave Gallagher, the center fielder. Quick throw, he's back. Rick behind the plate. Throw over there, he's back. It looks like Jeff Pico is up in the bullpen. Watch Boston, he can fly. There he goes. There's a peg. Way high in the center field. Here comes Boston on his way to third. A throwing error by Rona.
Ball sails high on Rick Rona. Pretty good jump by Darrell Boston. High and away, no chance for Ramos.
So Gallagher with 1 out of 3 with the infield drawn in now faces Dean Wilkin. There's a high fly ball. Now watch the play. Dwight Smith on left. He makes the catch. Here's a throw way off beam. So the White Sox now lead by 3, 6-3. Sacrifice fly for Gallagher.
Dwight Smith caught this one high above his head and has to bring the ball down before he can throw it. Kind of an unusual position when you're setting up the throw. Now watch. He doesn't catch the ball on the throwing side of his body. He catches it on the other side. He just set up wrong, and the throw is well off the mark.
I think if I were the Bears, I'd get that Darrell Boston as a wide receiver. There's a ground ball hit down to McLendon for an easy out. Steve Lyons is 0 for 5 for the day, but he played 9 positions and went to bat 5 times. The only thing he didn't get was a hit all day long.
Accountable for 6 outs, though, Harry. He lined into a double play one.
Yeah. Here's the pitch. Crosstown. 1 strike and nothing. 6-3 in favor of the White Sox. A high pop foul coming back. Rick Ronan in the no play in the stand. Well, a nice souvenir, and take it back and show your folks some. Yeah. One of life's most glorious moments. Look at that.
Giving everybody 5.
0-2 the count. Well, Boston made his speed pay off in a hurry. Singled to right on a bad hop hit past McClendon, stole second, went to third on Rona's bad throw, and scored on Gallagher's sacrifice fly. Crosstown, who hit a homer in the third. I tell you, the White Sox have been dominant in this ball game. They have pounded out 13 hits to the Cubs 6. Double the Cubs scores, 6-3. There's a drive in a left field, and it is foul. The Cubs, the only time the Cubs were tied was at the end of the first when it was 0-0. The White Sox have been leading ever since. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-3, and now 6-3.
Think a trend is developing over the 6 years of this renewed rivalry?
Well, I tell you.
Well, wait to the World Series, Harry. Cubs will take care of them there.
Everybody knows it's just for rooting rights. But sometimes that's all a fan really cares about. And certainly the White Sox fans have more to root about in their team play against the White Sox, against the Cubs rather, than the Cubs do. 6-year rivalry. 5 years the White Sox will have won, and the other one went to a 15-inning tie, 5-5. I wonder if those are White Sox or Cub fans. He walked a ball.
Going to take a look at Sammy Sosa, a highly regarded youngster, plays right field for the White Sox.
And Sosa is hitting .241 for the year. Looking for his first home run. Woo, he had a wicked cut. Sosa obtained from the Texas Rangers and the Harold Baines trade. He swings at a curve. Sosa, only 21 years old. Won't be 22 until November. He's from the Dominican Republic. He was obtained with Scotty Fletcher and pitcher Wilson Alvarez from Texas. for Harold Baines and infielder friend Manrique. There's a ground ball. Throw over to second for the force out. And we go into the bottom of the ninth. The White Sox leading 6-3. Caray back at Wrigley Field. We're going down to the bottom of the ninth. The White Sox are trailing 6-3. All right, the Cubs are trailing 6-3. I should have said Chicago is trailing 6-3. And then I wouldn't have had to correct myself. I could have just said, I mean the Chicago White Sox. Because the Chicago White Sox have led all day long. Here's Don Zimmer. And here's Greg Smith leading it off. Scored a run after a walk in the seventh. There's the scoring details in case you joined us late. Oh, and 1 the count. There's a drive in a right center field. Everybody's on the run. Extra base hit. Greg Smith's around second. On his way to third with a triple. Greg Smith triple to right center. And boy, he hit that ball right on the button.
Cubs will not go down easy as highly regarded youngster Greg Smith drives this ball into right center field. Nobody can get to it. As it rattles around, Smith goes all the way to third.
So Jose Segura now will pitch to Domingo Ramos, who is 3 out of 3 today. 2 singles and a double. Curve inside. Segura, Jose Altagracia Segura, 27 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Inside, ball 2. 6-3. The White Sox are out in front. Two balls, no strikes. Ball 3.
There's a summary of the scoring. A lot of White Sox up there, but the Cubs trying to come back.
3-0 pitch. Strike called over the outside corner at the knee. Ramos looking at Chuck Cartier coaching at third. 3-1. Strike 2. And the count is full. Rona will be next. He swung at a bad ball low. Would have been ball 4. He fouls it off. All right. 3-2. Greg Smith will lead off third. A high foul ball sliced into the right field corner. A lot of spectators have left. It's only 4 o'clock.
The excitement is killing them.
3-2 pitch. He walked him, ball 4. The tying run is coming up. Chuck Cartier talking to Greg Smith, who tripled to open the inning.
Well, he wants to make sure that he's running on any ground ball because he would like to force the White Sox into trying to make the play at the plate and stay out of the double play situation.
Grebeck playing short. Lyons at second. Swung, come on. Rick, just meet the ball. The harder he swings, the more he misses. 0-1 the count. Ground ball down the third baseline. One run is in. Another man racing for second. That ball skipped right by Robin Ventura, who dived for it. Couldn't reach it. 6-4, nobody out. Runners second and third.
Cubs making a comeback as Rick Rona drives the ball down the line past the diving Robin Ventura. And the tying runs on base.
A base hit would tie it now. And here is Marvell Wynn, a left-hander getting ready in the bullpen for the White Sox. It looks like it's taken the Cubs about 8 innings to wake up.
Scott Radinsky throwing in the bullpen.
Here comes Jeff Torborg, the fine young manager of the Chicago White Sox. You know, Jeff knows all about pitching. He's caught 3 no-hitters in the major league. And I think that's going to be all. Here will be Radzinski. And Segura trots off the field. We'll be back with more following this message. Before we tell you about Radzinski, here's what Jeff Torborg caught 2 Dodger no-hitters, one by Sandy Koufax in 67, 65, and Bill Singer in 70. And he also caught a Nolan Ryan no-hitter with the Angels in 73. So he knows all about pitching. Scott Radzinski takes over.
Radzinski is 22 years old. 3rd-round draft choice in June of '86. Last year at South Bend, he went 7-5. The ERA, a remarkable 1.75, appearing in 53 games with 31 saves. And he's been a surprise in the early going for the White Sox.
Out of Glendale, California. And here's Marvell Wynn swinging and missing the first pitch. Radzinski, R-A-D-I-N-S-K-Y. Scott. Curve inside. That evens it up.
Radzinski's been in 5 games this year, does not have an earned run average. He's only thrown 4 2/3 innings. He's only walked 1 man.
1 ball, 1 strike. High fastball. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Kurt Wilkinson will be next. And Torborg brings in Radzinski with all the guys batting. Of course, Wilkinson's a switch hitter. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Runners second and third. A little pop fly down the left field line, goes foul. Marvell Wynn tried to stop his swing. And the ball hit his bat and almost dropped in there for a double.
Barry Jones, a right-hander, now loosening in the pen. So after a succession of minor leaguers, Jeff Torborg, trying to win this game, has brought in Radzinski, and now Jones loosening up. for the right-hand hitters.
A home run would win it for the Chicago Cubs. They're behind 6-4, nobody out. Runners at second and third. Fouled it back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Radzinski just 22 years old. .6'3", 190-pounder. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out. He might have chased a bad ball. The wind goes down swinging. And here's Wilkerson batting right-handed. Yeah, he was
down and out of the strike zone.
Might have, maybe it was in there. Too close to take, I guess. Easy out. Hey, they got the man trapped between second and third, and he gets back there. The ball was tapped right back to the pitcher. Now the runner on second base, Rona, almost ran Ramos off third.
Radinsky does it well. He takes a look at third, freezes the man, makes the play at first, and Walker, seeing Rona well off the bag, tries to go behind him.
Where do you think Rona was going?
I haven't the foggiest, especially if he looks over at third base and he sees it's currently occupied.
So now with 2 out, runners second and third. Dwight Smith, who's hitless in 4 trips. And McGlendon would be next. Swings and he fouls it back. It looks like you can see Smitty's head turning on every swing.
I mean, he just doesn't have much of a groove at this point of the year, and one of the reasons why he's up there for 5 at-bats today is to try to find himself.
1 strike to nothing. One ball, 1 strike. 6-4 in favor of the White Sox. Tying runs at second and third. 2 out. Ball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Hit. 1 run is in. Here's the other tying run trying to score. He is out at the plate. The game is over. And the White Sox have beaten the Chicago Cubs 6-5. Watch it again. A fine throw by Dave Gallagher, the center fielder.
This throw right on the button. And Karkovice is waiting for Rick Rona.
Watch this throw. Boy, he's out by plenty. On a solid single to center. And so the White Sox have beaten the Cubs 6-5 in a thriller, with a tying run being thrown out at the plate to end the game. We'll be back with the totals in a moment. The Bud Dry play of the game, of course, the final game. There's a base hit by Dwight Smith. 1 run easily scores. Now here comes Rona. And he is out. It's amazing that he was out by such a margin, because he runs pretty good. I don't think he had much of a lead. Funny play. The play before, he almost ran a guy off third. At any rate, there is the Bud Dry play of the game, as the tying run of the contest is thrown out for the final out of the ball game.
And once again, the big winner in this one, Charity, and that's what the game is played for. Over 37,000 people here in attendance today. But Harry, 5-0-1 in the last 6 years against the White Sox. They got to beat them one of these years.
I tell you, wherever we go, we better keep it quiet. Don't start talking. Don't rustle up any White Sox fans, because there's no way you can answer them. They've just beaten us 5 out of 6 years. Actually, they've beaten us 5, never lost to the Cubs once, tied them one other time over the long rivalry.
And that one game was 15 innings, and for a while it looked like this one had a chance to rival that one, but not with that throw to center from center field by Dave Gallagher.
All right, here's a check for charity. The Chi Sox kids get the $10,000 check from Gatorade. And the player of the game, Dan Pasqua, for the home run and the hitting, he got the Player of the Game award. All right, here are the totals now. For the victorious White Sox, 6 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Jerry Kutzler from Waukegan, who makes his home in Zion, was the winner. Scott Radzinski picked up the save. For the Cubs, 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Len Damian, the loser. So the final score again, the White Sox win it 6-5. That's it. Speaking for Thom Brennaman and Steve Stone, Harry Caray from Wrigley Field. Repeating again, the White Sox edge out the Cubs 6-5. A thrilling finish. Hope you enjoy it. So long, everybody. The producer-director for Chicago Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. The coordinating producer is Bill Borson. Our assistant director, Joe Cornell. And the final score, the Chicago White Sox 6, the Chicago Cubs 5. Our next telecast on Channel 9 will be between the Cubs and the San Diego Padres tomorrow night. Our telecast begins at 9:30 Chicago time. Harry Caray from Wrigley Field. So long, everybody.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Channel 9 was brought to you by New Bud Dry, the first beer cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. The Chicago Tribune, get in the game, pick up a trim. True Value Hardware, for quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value your store of first choice. Unical 76, who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. And Nissan, built for the human race. A promotional fee has been paid to WGN by United Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs. Come fly the friendly skies.
Follow the infinite voyage as we explore the living clock, part of Digital Equipment Corporation's Discovery Series.
Tonight,
10th Inning is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers at the Sign of the Best, and by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Midas dealers. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Welcome to the 10th inning. What a ball game it was today. The Cubs fought back, but it's too little too late as the White Sox beat them once again. And as we've told you so often throughout the afternoon in the last 6 years, the Windy City Classic, the White Sox have dominated. Then they dominated once again. But you can say one thing. Their minor league pitchers a little better than the Cubs minor league pitchers, because that's all it amounts to. An exhibition game for charity. Everybody having a good time. Unfortunately, nobody got hurt. So the result, the White Sox win 6-5, and there are some highlights, a few very good plays, and some entertaining moments. Stay with us. We'll have more for you after these messages. It was a bad omen when Len Damian gave up a 2-run base hit right back up the middle. Carlos Martinez driving home 2 in the second inning. And the White Sox are on top 2-0. Ageless Carlton Fisk scoring the first run. Dan Pasqua, MVP, scoring the second run. Ron Karkovice takes a Damian fastball deep. Way back. Over the back wall. And it's now 3-0 in the third inning. One oddity. Damian gave up a hit in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. It's now a 3-1 game. What a play by Ozzie Guillen. Stepping on the bag, just missing a double play at first when Wilkerson beats the throw. An outstanding effort. Ozzie Guillen, not only with his glove, but with his bat. He makes it 4-1, this coming in the fourth inning. It's all White Sox to this point. MVP Dan Pasqua takes the ball the other way. Laddie Renfro on the mound. Driving the ball into the bleachers. Pasqua, 3 hits, a single, a double, and a solo shot in the fifth. A very happy fan. Domingo Ramos had a big day. He had 3 hits, and he makes it 5-2, slicing this ball away from Steve Lyons. Oops. Into the wall, but unscathed. And the Cubs cut into the lead. Ramos with the RBIs in the 7th. Kurt Wilkerson drives in a run. He makes it 5-3, looping the ball into left field. Ramos on the run. Boston cannot throw him out, and Domingo scores the 3rd Cub run. But the White Sox in this seesaw affair stay on top. Dave Gallagher, who was to become very prominent later, drives the ball into left field. Smith with the throw, not in time to get Darrell Boston, and it's a 6-3 game. Until the 9th, Rick Rona drives the ball by a diving Robin Ventura. Greg Smith scoring, and the Cubs looking like they're going to tie this one up in the 9th. It's now a 6-4 game, and watch the last play of the game. Watch Dave Gallagher. One hops this one and makes a perfect throw to cut down Rick Rona. Ron Karkovice has plenty of time to set up. That's the end of the ball game. White Sox 6 and Cubs 5. So stay with us, because we'll have a quick look at the scoreboard after these messages. Okay. Let's take a look at the National League, and it's going to be Pittsburgh at St. Louis. And in that game, a man who figures prominently for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who, by the way, are in first place, is Bob Walk. He's going to the mound at 0-2. And one of the great stories of the year is John Tudor. He's 2-0, and everybody gave up on John Tudor. He was with the Los Angeles Dodgers, had a lot of arm problems. Not a lot of people thought he could pitch again. Well, that isn't the case. He is throwing brilliantly for St. Louis, and he goes to the mound tonight. San Francisco at San Diego. It's going to be Gunderson at 0-1. And another great story for San Diego, young Andy Bennis, one of the hardest throwing pitchers in the league, is going to the mound at 1-1. The Cubs won't see them. The Cubs are going to San Diego after the game today, and they're going to take a look at 3 San Diego pitchers. Fortunately, one won't be Bennis. He's got a great arm, but the Cubs are going to throw three stalwarts against them. It's going to be Maddox, Bilecki, and Harkey. Over to the American League, and it's Kansas City at Baltimore. Davis going to the mound for Kansas City at 1-1. Pete Harnisch going to the mound for Baltimore. He's 1-0. Cleveland at Toronto. Farrell going to the mound at 1-1, and another great story out of Toronto, Mike Flanagan. Once the ace with the Orioles staff, now 2-0 for Toronto. Later on, it's going to be Detroit at Minnesota with Frank Tanana going to the mound at 0-1 and Smith going to the mound at 0-1 for Minnesota. Let's take a look at the National League Eastern standings. The Pittsburgh Pirates, on the strength of a 3-game sweep here in Chicago, lead the division at 8-5. And the interesting thing about the National League East standings is the fact that all the 3 teams that figured to be at the bottom of the race are now at the top of the race. The 3 teams that everybody predicted would battle it out, New York, the Cubs, and St. Louis, at the bottom of the standings. As you can see, Philadelphia 1 game back, tied with Montreal. New York, the Cubs at 6-7. And surprisingly, St. Louis off to a very slow start at 5-8. They're 3 games back. So a topsy-turvy division as far as the Cubs are concerned. And the Cubs trying to break out of it as they take a swing through the West coming up after the ball game. Let's take a look at the White Sox division, where Oakland's certainly the dominant team. 9-3, they're starting out just where they left off last year. It's hard to look at that ball club and see a weakness. They've got just about everything you'd like. Outstanding pitching, tremendous power, a great closer in Dennis Eckersley. It's going to be a very tough go for everybody else in the division. But the White Sox surprising everyone. They're 5-4 in the early going. They're just 2.5 games back. Texas 7-6, also 2.5 games back. California, who everybody thought would be right there along with Kansas City trying to challenge Oakland, they're at 500. Minnesota 6-7, and it looks like they're going to have a difficult year. Kansas City 5-6, off to a very slow start despite the fact that they really helped themselves in the offseason. Seattle 4-9, a young ball club, a lot of problems, but an emerging star in Ken Griffey Jr. Let's take a look one more time at the last play of the ball game. Probably the most exciting play of the ball game. Dave Gallagher, who had gone all the way in center field, charges this ball aggressively. Now he's got an advantage because Rick Rona, a catcher, is at second. He one-hops the throw. It's a perfect throw, and that ends it. It looked like the Cubs and the White Sox had a chance to duplicate that 1988 ball game where they went 15 innings, but that wasn't the case. So the Cubs, losers of 4 games in a row, now head to the West Coast, and they've got their work cut out for them. Not only San Diego and Los Angeles, but San Francisco, which is not playing very well at this point, is awaiting them. And that's a big West Coast trip. The Cubs have to get that offense together, and one of the reasons is it takes the pressure off young pitchers. Everyone knows that Rick Sutcliffe will be back. The question is when. He's going to throw Saturday, and then they're going to evaluate just exactly how he comes out of that game. It's going to be at Louisville in AAA. If he throws very well and he has the velocity and the location, they could use him as soon as 4 days later. That will be a welcome sight, the big guy getting back on the mound and helping out this starting rotation. But in the meantime, it's the 3 youngsters at 3, 4, and 5 in the starting rotation, at least for now, that are going to tell the tale on the West Coast. So we'll see you from San Diego, and right now we'll go to the Funhouse. So long, everybody.